when I started off, there weren't any role models to follow, and there weren't any carved out journeys that I could look at that I thought would help me personally. So for me, it was trial and error. It was not taking a no, but not in a foolish way. You have to understand why somebody might say a no, and you need to analyze those situations, and you need to make sure that you can take away as many no's as possible. So what I did in my case was I looked at that here I am, a 20-year-old guy from Pakistan. How do I break into the business? What is the first no that can come my way? And in my analysis, the first no could be that I didn't have enough training, or if need be, I couldn't change my accent, or that I might not be able to handle, say, Shakespearean verse if it was thrown my way. So I went ahead and got my training in theater, made sure that I was getting everything that I could from that program. I made sure that I went to a program that was a recognized one, so that then that could catapult me into breaking into the business. You really do have to just not be complacent. I think that's the biggest thing. We have to be as aggressive as possible, and aggressive not in a negative sense. I think we need to make sure that we are not, as I said earlier, that we are not taking the no's, and when we take those no's, we need to know why it is a no. Not all projects are going to go your way. That's fine, but we need to push through and not let all of that start to affect our core, where we become demoralized. So it's important that we kind of push through whenever you have a chance. Make sure that you're out there, you're doing the things that other people are doing, and keep going forward, and start creating your own projects. In the end, that's how we're going to promote and push a more complete picture of who we are. Grey's Anatomy episode was very special, and it really humbles me that that I'm being honored for this, because it was one of those storylines which I found to be very moving. What was personally very gratifying to me was that they gave me the freedom to bring in subtle ways what I would have done as a Muslim man to deal with a situation like that. There's a little scene where it's a private moment where he's sitting in his bed before surgery, and they asked me what I would do if I was in that situation, and my first thought was that I would probably say a dua, and they immediately accepted that thing. And what that did was that I have gotten emails from people asking me what dua I used, Muslims writing to me. That is the kind of stuff which, when you get a role like that, or when you see a script like that, you don't care what money you're going to make. You don't care how many hours you're going to work. You just do it because it makes you feel good. I think what MPAC is doing is imperative, because we need resources. We need to know that there are people, there are organizations, there are networks that we can go to get guidance. I think it's also a great conduit between the aspiring and the more established. And if we can create those dialogues, I think we can create a richer fabric, and we can create a bigger presence. And not only just a presence, a more balanced presence of who we are. So something of this nature that MPAC Hollywood is doing is what I prayed and craved for when I started off in the business, because we didn't have all that. We didn't have a resource. We didn't have people who were there to help us out, or at least be able, or if for no other reason, to be just sounding boards where we could just go and say what we're going through. Hi, my name is Faran Tahir. You might know me from my last two projects, Star Trek and Iron Man. I'd like to personally invite you to the MPAC Media Awards honoring Voices of Conscience and Courage being held at Bonaventure Hotel on May 1st, honoring a Grey's Anatomy episode that I was a part of. I hope to see you there.